existence, and you never know who you are in proximity with when you enter into these rooms. Today is an exciting day. We've got some business coming through. Today we have put 2 properties under contract in the last 72 hours. I'm very excited. Looks like the campaign is starting to finally pay off. We got Mr. Short in the building. Good morning, Mr. Short. How you doing, Andrew? This is the best time for anybody to ask any of their real estate questions, talk about their business, talk about what's going on, talk about their hurdles, talk about their success. We want to really highlight the members of the community that are in here and create an opportunity for people to be in proximity with one another, start the day off on the right beat. I'm going to be inviting some people. I'm going to shoot the invite out and tag everybody to come and join us. And I will share with you all a story that just happened, and it is a little unfortunate, but I'll tell you how we're going to navigate everything and hopefully, get everything together. But on Saturday, hey, love that. Person in here who drops the most knowledge gets a free PPC lead. Guys, drop some knowledge in the chat. Talk about your business. Talk about what's going on. I'll tell you all about what's going on in my business. I had a lead that I was calling on Saturday. Call went fantastic. Built an amazing rapport with the seller. Positioned myself, postured myself very well in the call. He gave me his bottom line. He just wanted to make $1,000 off the deal, and it would ultimately be a purchase price of about $42,600. And I told him, look, I want to send somebody out there to go and see it. And so because I'm virtual, I always lean on people to go and check stuff out for me. And it was my fault. I sent too many people to the property, and word got out that I guess it was like a showing, and some party that I have no idea who was that person showed up to the property and pretty much started like flexing and threatening on the other buyers that were there at the property, saying, "Oh, we got deep pockets. We're gonna give you all this money." And so, that really threw the seller off, and now they're pretty much telling me they don't want to do anything until Monday. So sometimes you got to just follow up with people, give them their space. Don't come off too needy for any sort of deal. But very important, keep your pipeline of leads full. Opportunity is very important. So good to see Coffee with Closers live again. Absolutely. Glad to be back. Definitely a much needed break. And we've got a lot of stuff. I'm working insanely on this website. I really want to give people that opportunity that I've envisioned with the other people in the community. And it's really time. We got to make sure that we're living up to the potential of the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence. So I've got a couple of deals on my board in front of me. I put 2 properties under contract in Crescent, Texas for novations. And now I have another creative deal in Mesa, Arizona. So if anybody's out there in Mesa, Arizona, you've got some experience doing some deals out there, I have a creative deal that I'm going to be putting under contract for a mobile home. Now, this one is one where I'm not sure if there's really any other option. I don't think this deal makes sense for an investor. I think that this has got to be an owner-occupant to buy this house. And so my plan is going to be to write up the terms where, I can take over the existing finance, and I will get an owner occupant to give me a down payment anywhere from like 5 to 7%. Total purchase price of $300,000, and I'll just let them have the lower interest rate at 7%. If we can get 7% from somebody on $300,000, that's $21,000 to play with. From there, I'll give the agent, roughly $3,000, whatever we can negotiate, and the seller's cool with walking away with me taking over their payments. So they're cool with that. That should be a nice assignment. Lord willing, we can get something going on that. But, the way that I see it right now is just roll it right back into ads, Try to scale higher, spend more on Google, Right now I'm spending $225 a day, 5 days a week. If I can get that bumped up to maybe $750 a day, I think that I'll probably be getting a lot more leads, and a lot more leads will be coming through, and that's the goal. $100,000 a month, ladies and gentlemen, is the goal. Right now, it looks like we have about $60,000 in the pipeline, and I just want to continue to reinvest all this money into ads and scale the business up. I'm going to tell you guys, as somebody who's done it all, from cold calling to SMS to PPC to referrals, the best leads are the motivated leads that are looking for you. So anything inbound, whether that's a referral or PPC or a pay-per-lead service, those are obviously the best people to talk to. Those people that have already raised their hand and are already looking to sell. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to open it up. Let's bring some people up on the stage that want to chop it up today, talk about what's going on. I'm seeing a lot of hype in the chat recently about SMS. I'm seeing a lot of people are getting into SMS. Some accounts have been banned recently. I guess, people are using the wrong keywords, or they don't have their system set up. So love to know what everybody's going through right now. I've personally taken my foot off the SMS pedal and really gone all in on this PPC stuff. And I'm really excited, because I really think that this is, the best utilization of money, and you get the fastest return on your money. Also, I want to make it known for anybody that's joining us that this might be one of your first times joining us, or you're relatively new to real estate. This is a great space for you to ask questions and get answers from people that are actively doing this business. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel embarrassed to ask any sort of question that you have. This is that time for you to be in proximity with other people starting off their day the right way. Everybody that's in here that shows up on a daily basis is actively doing this business, whatever level you're at. As long as you're taking action afterwards, that's what's most important. So really lean on the people that are a part of the community. Tell people where you're at, what you're doing, what you're up to. You'd be surprised. You never know who's in your backyard market that's in this chat right now, and you guys could break bread. I've seen numerous times people meet people in REI Rev and end up doing business together. We just had two revolutionary members, Jacob and Adrian, come on last week to talk about their experience, how they met each other on REI Rev, and now they're buying properties together and live in a current flip together. Absolutely incredible, the opportunity that you can have just by being loud, getting active, and letting people know where you are, who you are, and what you do. I know the show's called Coffee with Closers, but how many of us are actually drinking coffee in the morning? Congratulations to Adam Hajazi. I hope I pronounced that name right. He's closed his second deal under Drew's wing, I'm sure, with leadership from Drew. Drew has been a huge leader in the community, really putting a lot of people on, not only with, his skip tracing, Titan Skip, but also helping, the community in any way, building up the website and all sorts of other stuff. Guys, you got to be in proximity with these people. You never know who you're in the room with. He's gone from wholesaling now to fix and flipping, actually purchasing these properties himself with his partner, Adam. And it's incredible to see the progress in such short time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 44 people joining us this morning. Hope that you're all doing well. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. If preferred, what we could do, I can make some calls. I've got a few leads. I got one lead that I've been following up with in Cape Coral, and that seller pretty much had a job opportunity that apparently has left the station, as he did not make a decision fast enough to get out there. So the urgency is kind of left him, but the result's still the same. He's not going to be getting what he's looking to get out of the property if he lists it. So I will be following up with him. I've been following up every day. He's kind of been ducking me since last week. I said I'd give him the weekend to decide, and I don't want to push these sellers too much, but I always stay on top of them. I'm always following up. So I'd be, happy to do some follow-up calls, show y'all how I speak to people on the phone, and do some business. Let's really treat this as an opportunity to be in like a live co-working space. So take advantage of that live stream side chat. You never know who you're in proximity with when you hop into these rooms, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to also follow up with an agent. I got an agent to follow up with today. Also, a huge thing, I reached out to, this lady reached out to me. She's got a low equity situation.
Hey there, this is Anya Tucker.
And she was explaining, her agent really doesn't know anything about creative finance. They have never done, a creative deal. And it got me thinking, are there other people like her in a situation where, they've got their property listed and they're maybe working with an agent, whether it's that same agent or somebody on their team in their brokerage? Building these relationships is something that I really want to focus on. Building relationships, strategic relationships, business relationships with these agents, and offering, to help them with sellers that have little to no equity is going to be huge, because they're going to just continue to do repeat business with me. Becoming that resource for somebody, that goes back to the referrals. Somebody comes to you, that's an inbound lead. Asking myself recently is just how can I position myself in a way where I can maximize the amount of inbound traffic that I get. And that's honestly going to be the game changer. Another huge thing was, the reason that I said I wanted to stop Coffee with Closers was I felt like I couldn't really benefit from it. Well, I had to ask myself, was it something wrong with Coffee with Closers, or was it something wrong with the funnel that I had, or something wrong with me as an individual? And I don't think that it's anything. I think that, a lot of the people that come and join, I want to make sure that they have urgency. There's no paywall for people to be a part of this community. So really the only urgency that exists is the urgency that you give yourself. What I'd really like to do is create that marketplace that we've been talking about, especially for the members of this community, people that are really doing this business at a high level. And that's exactly what we're setting out to do with this website. I'm putting it together. I'm going to be the one to do it. It's coming together slowly but surely. It's made a lot of progress in the last week for sure. And I'm going to be really, really encouraging people that have these leads and deals that they can't do anything with, on the traditional wholesale side, to submit them to work with somebody that is qualified to help them with that lead here in the community. So it's going to be some exciting stuff coming here soon. I don't want to talk too much about it. I'd rather show you, kind of what I'm working on, and I'll have something to show you all here in the next week or so. Though in the meantime, I'm going to open up a few things here. You can check my Google ads. I always refresh the page, see how many clicks I'm at for the day. Right now I'm at 2 clicks. Spent $126 so far. I've had 1 phone call come in. So not bad. So far so good. So I also got to write up a creative agreement, which I got to reach out to somebody to help me with that. Mr. Matt Riley's a busy man. He's got a lot of deals on the table, I'm sure. I'm going to write that text to the agent. Seller, follow up with you. Also, I want to make sure that everything is going well. Sometimes we get leads come in and they claim, oh, we'll close, we'll have a 10-day option period, this and that and the other. They decided to go with a different offer. And that happened to me live while I was on a stream. And They decided to go with the We Buy Houses brand with a 10-day option period. We decided to waive the option period. She still decided to go with that. Goes to show the power of establishing a well-known brand, and it's what we're seeing with big names like Brent and Jerry. They're really just going crazy on the marketing, for their Joe Homebuyer brand, and focusing, on specific niche markets. Something like We Buy Houses is something so it's so nationwide. What are you all doing to build your brands? Making some calls.
This is Jackie. Leave a name.
I guess this lady has a really weird schedule because she doesn't pick up.
This is Jackie.
Andrew's saying in the side chat, give some perspective to the audience. They receive 10 to 12 PPC leads per day and an average of 2 contracts per day. Now the real question is, how many clicks does it take to get to a lead, and then how many that's a real question. How many clicks does it take to get to a lead, and then how much is that cost per click? Which begs the question, does it make sense to run your own campaigns and try to figure out this Google stuff on your own, or work with an agency, versus spending money and just buying these leads directly? And I'd love to hear what everybody thinks. I have an opinion on it, and I'll be happy to share what I think at the end. Average cost per click nationwide is approximately $35 to $45. Incredible. Takes an average of 4 clicks to receive a lead. That's sauce. Wow. That's starting with an A/B test of over a year and starting with an average cost per click of $130. Takes some time to create a working system. That's fantastic. Right now, my cost per click is averaging anywhere between like $50 and $60 per click. Let me check my email. I gotta follow up with this agent. I'm waiting to hear back for a CMA on one of the properties that I put under contract yesterday. And I got one CMA back for another property that we put under innovation last Saturday. Let me see what they calendar. I'm gonna give that guy Kevin a call back.
Hello.
Hey Kevin, this is John Johnson. How are you?
Hi, John. I apologize. I thought you'd be on my speakerphone, but I can't hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you on my regular phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you to see how everything went. I think you got back from South Africa.
Yes, I'm back from South Africa.
How was that trip?
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you very much. It was very nice.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was indeed.
Okay. Did you end up selling that property we were talking about there?
I have not, although I literally am waiting for a realtor to send me the contract to sign so that the realtor can list it.
Okay, so you decided you wanted to list it?
Yeah, I don't, so it seems like listing it would be the same thing as going through with you, but going through with you would take me a long time to get any kind of money, and it ties the contract up, and I still have no money. To be quite honest with you, if you would have been able to give me a deposit, I would have done it with you, but I know you can't do that.
What were you, I want to make sure we're on the same page here. So you were looking to walk away with we were originally talking about 15, but I know you said you wanted 20,000 at closing, right?
Correct.
And so what my offer to you was I could have gotten you that 15 at the time at closing, so you would be walking away with 15,000 at closing.
Right, but how long would closing take? And in the meantime, I don't have my property's tied up in a contract, and I honestly just don't want to lose out just having my property under contract with someone and no guarantee. So, for example, if you would have given me a deposit, I would agree to do it. But you're not going to give me a deposit.
So I want to make sure we're on the same page here. Closing, when we say that I'm going to give you 15,000 at closing, we can close, in 30 days or less. We're closing on your timeline, so you would have that 15,000 in the next 30 days or so.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying if I signed a contract with you, I would feel more comfortable if you gave me let's just say, for example, if you gave me a deposit of $2,000 and subtracted from the $15,000 at closing.
Oh, okay.
But I know that's asking for too much of you.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean, all of our contracts standard have an earnest money deposit that we deposit with the title company. Um, I mean,
That's
I'm
why I
just,
said it was me instead of the title company.
yeah, I mean, we
Because
usually don't.
it's not, for example, it's not my title company. It's your title company.
Okay.
So I feel like I have there's no real interest. There's no real protection of my interest in this situation.
Well, let's work together to figure out how we can, make sure you feel comfortable and also protect your interests. I mean, if you have a preferred title company that you'd like to work with, I'd be happy to work with them.
I do have a preferred title company, yes.
Okay, what title company do you usually work with?
It's a couple, and I'm driving, so I can't think of it at the top of my head, but I can get back with you today with their names.
Yeah, that'd be great, and I don't mind. We can work something out. From what I remember, I think the last time there were tenants in the property. Did they already leave?
They have not left yet, but they can be gone.
I got you. And then when it comes to that title company, I'm happy to work with you on whatever title company. But it sounded like the last time you were saying that you didn't want to deal with working with an agent. You didn't want to list it on the market.
Well, so to be quite honest with you, I think I shared with you. Right now, other than listening to your option and a few other people's options, my most valid option was to put it on the market. That way, I would get all my money up front, and the realtor would get his commission. And if the realtor didn't sell my property, because I'm only letting the realtor put it on there for 3 months, and if the realtor didn't sell it in 3 months, I could resell it. I just don't want anyone tying up my property and tying up my money.
I got you. And so, I mean, we do have another option. I know that we were talking about wrapping this one and, pretty much taking over the payments on the lower interest rate. That was the draw for me, was that you had that lower rate.
Right.
Tell me this, because look, I want to make sure that you're making the best decision for you, and that might not be working with me, right? But at the end of the day, I just kind of want to figure out what you're looking to do in terms of what you're looking to get out of the property. So I mean, if you could walk away with $20,000 in the next 30 days, guaranteed, you don't have to list it, you don't have to worry about showing it, you don't have to worry about negotiating seller concessions, none of this buy down, interest rate buy down nonsense that we're seeing, with all these other listings that we've been having on the market. Would that be enough for you to want to do something?
Yeah, I could do that, but then, I could do that. Conceivably, I can do that, yes. My issue is, even if we say that, I've been in the industry long enough that anything could happen between day 1 and 30 days.
Sure.
And at least if I had 2,000 of my 20 grand, if it fell through, I'd be okay.
Oh, okay. So you're more looking just to have something. You want to have the security of knowing that you're not going to be walking away empty-handed. That's really what.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
let me tell you, remember, I told you I worked for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac in their default servicing department for 20 plus years.
Right.
I've seen how people tie properties up, especially in Texas, with contracts and find reasons to not go to closing.
Right.
Now your property has been tied up, you have no money, and you still ultimately aren't selling it.
Right. And you're responsible
I
for
don't
that,
want that
for
to
that
happen
upcoming
to me.
payment.
Right, I don't want that to happen to me.
I understand, and that's a valid concern. I want to make sure that I recognize that. And I'll be happy to put something in writing as well. We can adjust our agreement. In the event that it takes longer than expected, I'm sure I wouldn't mind taking a responsibility for that upcoming payment. If you work with me on the timeline, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and source that owner occupant. We've got a database of our own where we actually put people through a vetted process, similar to what they would have to go and get qualified for to get a traditional loan, but what we can offer them is that lower rate. And so, what I'd like to do is see, is there a way that I can maybe incentivize you a little bit more? I wouldn't like to take a $2,000 haircut, and I don't intend to. I'd be happy to make sure that you walk away with something at the closing table regardless. My full intention is to close on this deal and get it funded. And I believe that we can do that given the fact that it has a lower rate than what we can go and get from the bank today. But the only thing that I'd ask from you would be if you could give me a little bit of flexibility on the amount of time. If you want to give me, say, 45 days, that would be, I think, enough time for us to go on ahead and source that owner-occupant, run them through the vetting process, make sure that they're good to actually be in there and make payments. And then I'd be happy to also restructure the deal in a way where I can, make a small payment to you every month for letting us take over the existing financing.
Okay, I see seeing what that looks like. And the reason why I say seeing what that looks like, John, as you know, people say, even with the realtor, we're going back and forth because people say one thing, but when you look at contracts, it says something else.
I understand. I understand completely. So let me ask you this, Kevin, because I want to make sure that doesn't happen with us. I don't want you to talk to me and we agree on one thing verbally, and then you look at this agreement and you see that it says something else. So let's talk really quickly about what exactly you want to see on this agreement that would make you feel comfortable. And I'm going to take a quick note of this, so let me grab a pen, and I want you to tell me. So number one, I understand you want us to use a title company that you feel safe with, right? So we're going to get a title company together here that would be able to handle the transaction, but most importantly, that would protect your interests and make you feel comfortable doing this kind of deal, okay? So I'm going to make sure that I write that down. Okay, Kevin, tell me what else you would like to see on this agreement. I want to make sure that you feel like your interests are protected, because this is one of these types of transactions that can be risky. I definitely understand, and I don't want you to feel like you're going to be walking away at the closing table empty-handed. Most importantly, but let's outline some terms that would make you feel comfortable moving forward with this type of agreement.
Well, I think I told you, if you made a small deposit to me directly, I would feel comfortable with that. I would give you your 45 days. I'm just the notion of tying the property up without any kind of deposit just doesn't work well for me. And I also know saying the title company is holding it doesn't work well for me, because I also know there are 50 million reasons why the title company can say, oh, we got to give them their deposit back.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Kevin. If in our agreement I state that the earnest money deposit that is deposited is completely waived, and regardless of if we perform on our transaction or default, that money goes to you, there is no exception, there is no way that I could get that money back, that is your money, would that make you feel comfortable to enter this type of transaction with me?
Sure.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that for you, Kevin, and I have no problem with that, because like I said, my intention is to go on ahead and perform on this. I do believe that
what is the amount of the deposit?
Well, let's outline that. How about I give you $500, whether or not I close on this deal, and that goes hard immediately, and then a total of well, how would you feel about $500?
Well, continue. I wasn't totally sold just on 500, but I was listening to what else you had to say.
Okay. Well, then, how about after we do, say, inspection period or marketing period, for where we go to try to get that owner occupant qualified and in there, we can put down the remaining 500, let's say.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Well, it's not if you're opposed to it. It's more or less, if you feel comfortable with it. That's what we have to get to the bottom of, because I'll tell you right now, I don't personally usually put out more than about 500 on the deals. that we do buy, I don't have a problem if you want to work with me. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable at the end of the day.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
So I'm gonna,
So let me ask you a question.
of course.
It would help me to understand how you plan on closing on this transaction.
Okay. What would you like to know?
Literally, how you plan on closing? Are you paying it off? Are you just bringing it current? Like, how do you plan on closing on this property?
Great question. So, like we talked about in our previous conversations, right? I'd like to give you ideally what works best for me is 15,000. I know that's kind of a little lower than what you wanted to do, but if we could do 15,000, I'm confident that I'd have enough space to actually close on this in a time frame sooner rather than later. So if we can't agree upon 15,000, what will happen is you will receive $15,000 at the closing table when we close on this property. We will purchase this property. We will be responsible for this property. We will insure this property. So in the event that anything happened with one of our occupants at that property, say a fire or anything, whatever, that will be covered by the insurance company. From there, what we'd like to do is keep the existing financing in place. So whoever currently owns that mortgage, I know that you said that you bought the house and kept the mortgage, I guess, in that other individual's name. I'd like to go on ahead and keep that lower interest rate than what we could go get qualified for today. And then I'd like to make payments to that lender. And then depending on, what we can negotiate today, there might be a way where I can give you, a couple bucks per month for letting me take over that existing financing, and you won't have to worry about maintaining the property, dealing with tenants or anything like that. I'll take care of all of that, and you walk away with the 15,000 at closing.
Okay, now typically, so this hypothetical, because I think I told you, the loan is current, but it's current due to me getting a loan modification.
I understand.
Do you typically bring the loan current, or is that incorporated in the 15,000? I'm just trying to understand how you do this, because I get a lot of deals, and I just don't like wasting my or other people's time. And I'd like to know how you move so that if it works for me as I get deals, I can structure them with you in mind.
Well, absolutely. And like I said, Kevin, when we first spoke, I think that this would be an amazing opportunity for us to both make some money. And especially if you have deals coming in that are structured like this consistently, I think that I could definitely help you build some passive income, in these types of deals. So, you said that you brought the loan current, so you did a loan modification, but is the interest rate still the same? I believe we were looking at a 4.5% rate the last time we spoke.
The interest rate did not change.
Well, perfect. So if the interest rate hasn't changed and the loan is current, meaning there's no arrears, what we will do is we will actually just use a third-party payment processing service, and we will make payments to them, and they will pay direct to the mortgage lender and document each and every single payment. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. So let me tell you, I'm familiar with it because I've had clients who were in those programs. And you're in Maryland, right?
Born and raised, I'm from Maryland.
I think Maryland forbids those kinds of transactions.
I'm unaware of that.
Yeah, Maryland. Well, when I was in the industry in Maryland, they frowned upon wraparound. But I get it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you send me the paperwork, I'll look at it and sign off on it, and we can go from there.
Okay, but I want to make sure here. So I just want to make sure that we're still on the same page with that mortgage. So it is still the current 4.5% rate. It is current. There are no arrears.
Let me tell you, I get it, but I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not a novice. I'm very clear what you mean when you ask me, has the interest rate changed?
What is that? What are we getting
That
at here?
means that the original interest rate has not changed. I do know, once again, managing Fannie and Freddie's default servicing, that sometimes when they do loan mods, they increase the interest rate. But that doesn't always happen. And it did not happen in this case.
Okay. Well, that's the most important thing, because I'll be honest with you, the way that I can benefit from this type of structure is that lower rate. And so what I'd like to do is explore and see, if there's a way maybe I could, give you half a percentage every month, in payment. So I'll be paying you half a percentage in interest. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to give you passive income while you allow us to use this existing financing, right? So I don't want you to feel like you're just giving me this loan, which is a lower interest rate loan, and walking away with just 15,000. Because I think that might be a screaming deal for me, but it doesn't really protect your interest, like you said. So I want to really see, I'd love to do some business, and I'd love to do repeat business with you. Let's figure out a structure that makes sense, that's fair, that you feel comfortable with, okay? Because I'd like to do repeat business with you.
Yeah, let me ask you another question.
Of
So,
course.
are you the final person to have the wraparound mortgage, or is the tenant you're putting in it doing the wraparound mortgage?
Great question. So the way that I structure our deals is I will be responsible for making that payment regardless. So once I'm responsible for making that payment, what I'd like to do is source an owner occupant from our database to then essentially make them responsible for making payments. You see what I'm saying? And because of that lower interest rate, I can play interest rate arbitrage to an extent. I can't go and charge, what a lender would charge, and then also get enough for a down payment from someone to make that payment to you of 15,000, get my money back, and then if there's anything in terms of closing costs or anything like that, I gotta also take care of that. And then if I haven't seen the property, right, we haven't been inside the property yet, I'm sure it's in great shape, but you never know. It's a tenant occupied property. There might be stuff that I've got to do cosmetically. I have to have a budget so that I can take care of all of these expenses and get this deal closed.
Right, I
And
get
so
it.
the
I
higher
understand.
that I raise that interest rate on the owner occupant, the less money down I'd be able to get to them, and ultimately, the less money I'd be able to budget to give to you at closing. So I'm going to tell you right now, Kevin, you've got a lot of experience in doing this. I recognize this isn't your first, rodeo, but I would just let you know that this is definitely something you could hypothetically do. This isn't anything that only I know how to do, and I'd be
Oh, I
happy to show
know.
you. But
Trust
what I
me,
can
I
really,
know.
absolutely, and I recognize that. But what I can really do is offer you the convenience of not having to worry about marketing for that owner occupant, screening that individual, putting them through the qualification process. I can make this a hands-off experience for you.
Exactly, and that's what I'm. So let me tell you, I know exactly how to do what you're doing. Honestly, at this point in my life, my goal is to work as least as possible and create wealth as much as possible. So
I
I'm
hear
not
you.
really interested in marketing, running ads, dealing
Right.
with these people with credit issues,
Right.
negotiating with them, with coming up with money. Like I can run an ad and say owner financing, down deposit, and get 100 people to respond, and that's a database. I get
Right.
all of that, but I'm not interested in doing that.
I hear you. Well, then look, Kevin, because I feel like we're pretty much on the same page here. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just split it right down the middle, and we pretty much do a 50-50 partnership on this, and it's not, you don't feel like I'm getting the better end of the stick or the better end of the deal because you already sourced it. You've got a great interest rate. How about we adjust, what that, why don't we see what we can get as in terms of a down payment, and I don't mind giving you more money, at the closing table for you to feel like you win than I could get. But let's say I got to take a look at these numbers. I got to pull them back up. Let me pull these back up so that I can talk to you about what these numbers look like here. I got to pull these numbers back up. Do you remember what the agent was saying that they were going to list this property for?
And that's one of the questions I asked the agent. The agent said that he was going to list it for 300, but the market value says 313 or 320, something like that.
Okay.
And I'm imagining he's lowering it to make it more appealing.
Okay. Now, do you remember approximately what you owe? I think I have the mortgage in front of me, so it's about 181, or what are we?
Yeah.
150? Where are
It's
we
about
at?
180. It's about 180.
Okay, so we owe $180,000. That's everything included. There's no solar or anything on this house, right?
There's no what?
No solar panels, nothing like that.
No, no.
Okay, perfect. I've been working with a lot of sellers lately that have, put some solar on their house. I'm telling you, Kevin, it eats that equity right up. I've seen people that have built equity in their house for the last 2-3 years have to write
Right.
checks at closing just because of those solar panels. It should be outlawed, I'm telling you. But we're looking at 180,000 on that mortgage balance. Let's say that we could get an owner occupant, to buy it for 300,000. Now, I'm gonna just tell you from what I'm seeing across the board. Like I said, I run these Google ads. I'm getting not only owner occupants that are interested in qualifying for a program like this, but also sellers reaching out to me that have had their properties listed and they have been sitting on the market for 30, 60, 90 days. And what we're seeing across the board is homestead buyers are offering much lower than what listing prices are, and that's across the board. And the reason is, of course, because the interest rates are much higher. So if we could go and get a homestead buyer to purchase this property, an owner occupant to purchase this property, and give us, say, about 7% down, which is realistic, because of the lower interest rate, we would have a budget of about $21,000 to work with. And so at that price point, like I said, I think the first time we spoke, I was asking if it could be a little bit closer to about 10,000. I would be giving you 15,000 at closing, so you would be walking away with, out of the 21,000, you would be making 15,000. And then if I subtract the 15,000 from that 21,000, that's 6,000 left over for me to take care of the closing costs, for me to take care of the marketing, for sourcing this owner occupant, creating this owner occupant, and then also, any repairs. And I'm sure that I'd probably have to come out of pocket to make slight repairs. But if you're willing, Kevin, to go on ahead and joint venture with me, I would be happy to show you the entire process. And obviously, make this a hands-off experience for you, because it sounds like, you get a lot of these types of deals. And if you feel comfortable structuring this in a way where we can both win, and everything's above board, we work with a type of company that you feel comfortable with, I'm happy to make a deposit. But if we're partners on this deal, I'd want to make sure that we're both benefiting evenly. But of course, keeping in mind that you're the current owner of this property, obviously you would be making more money at the closing table than I would, but I would have to also benefit in a way that would protect my interest. But, of course, keeping your interest in mind and the fact that you are the one that is currently servicing the loans on this property.
Okay, I'm not opposed to that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Kevin. I understand you're not opposed to it, but is this something that you'd really want to consider moving forward on, or are you kind of, weighing
Sure.
the options?
If I say I'm not opposed to it, to me, I'm saying yes. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's go on ahead and do this then. Why don't we hold off on that listing agreement with the agent for a little while, and do you have a time that maybe we could both sit down, and I want to just go on ahead and adjust this agreement with you so that, number one,
Sure.
we're both on the same page, but I want to make sure, like I said, that your interests are protected. I'm not a greedy guy. I'm not trying to get the better end of the stick. I recognize, the situation that you're in terms of, being responsible for this property, servicing this loan, having a tenant in there. I get it. So let's figure out a way that you can walk away at closing feeling like you win, and I can walk away at closing feeling like I helped you win.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Okay? All right, Kevin, when would be a good time for me to go on ahead and follow up with you? Let's get back on the phone at some point to review this agreement, revise it, and then hopefully get this ball rolling today.
This evening after, let's say, I don't know, what's too late for you?
I tell you, Kevin, I don't stop working, so I'm always working. So you can give me a call anytime.
So 9 p.m. would be fine because I fly back out of town tomorrow,
Okay.
and I have a lot going on. But 9 p.m. would work for me.
9 p.m. Okay, where are you heading off to?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh wow, you better have a good time out there, but stay away from the casinos.
I know. I have a residence out there also.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't I give you a call then at 9 p.m. later tonight. I'm going to get all of this together, and then, like I said, I'll keep everything in mind. If you want to, in the meantime, think about a title company that you'd like to use that you think might have had, experience structuring some sort of deal like this. I can also make a few suggestions, but like I said, my number one goal is to make sure that you feel comfortable entering into the transaction, that everything's transparent, above board, that you feel like you're winning. That's the number one thing, and that I help you win.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so I'll give you a call back around 9 then, Kevin. Where you're currently in Texas right now? I want to make sure I have the right time.
No, I'm currently in D.C. right now.
Oh, you're in D.C.? Okay.
I live in D.C. primarily.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's go ahead and do this. I'll give you a call at 9 then. We'll review everything, and we should be able to get something going then today then. Okay?
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, Don.
Absolutely, Kevin. I appreciate it, and I definitely look forward to working with you on this, okay?
All right, likewise.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm just curious, you know what I'm saying? Am I a guru, or do I really do this business? I don't sell a course, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I should. Maybe I should, but I don't know if I can teach you this kind of stuff. You learn it, just by making the calls. Let me know in the side chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you benefited from that call, if you learned anything from the call. Tell me in the side chat, what was the biggest takeaway from how I spoke to Kevin? I'm going to put that on my board. I've got a goal, ladies and gentlemen. 100K a month. And I've got the deals. We've got about 60K in the pipeline. Biggest 30-day period was like, what was that? 70, about 85 bands generated, 30 days. I got to break that. We got to touch 100K. That's going to be the goal. So I got this deal. I got to write up the agreement for a property in Mesa, Arizona. This call up for the day. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I know we've been seeing a lot of fire in the chat. That may have been a fire call, but tell me, what was the biggest takeaway from that call? What was the one thing that you learned that you can go and apply in your call? That's what I do this for. It's not just to get up here and do my thing, because I love to do my thing, But it's to show people how I do my thing. That's what it really boils down to. It's how to do the thing. Got several people typing, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenal. Fantastic. Love to see it. This is the type of value that we want to bring to the community. When I say that this is the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence, I don't say it because it sounds nice. I say it because it is true. Kamari says, stayed calm and made the seller feel secure. I love that you said that, Kamari. The #1 thing that we're really offering to these sellers when they reach out to us or when we are talking to them is that peace of mind. We have to acknowledge the fact that they are knowledgeable. This guy definitely sounds like he's got a lot of these types of deals. When I first spoke to him, it sounded like he was already doing this kind of stuff and that he has a lot of this type of stuff coming in. I know this could be repeat business, so I'm not going to get hung up on a deal that, I'm trying to make the better end of the deal there, and I just show them. Look, this is what we can do. This is how I do it. I'm going to show you the entire process, because that's probably what he's more interested in, is learning the process, understand, how does this work. It doesn't mean that doesn't mean that he wants to go and do it. He just wants to know. A lot of people like to know. A lot of people want to get more information and understand, what's interesting to them. But like I said, what I can offer to him is that peace of mind and the convenience of me doing this work for him, right? Versus him having to go and do it and screen these people and do this and that. Doesn't want to do it. He's in a position in his life where he wants to work as little as possible, and he wants to obviously build up equity and also cash flow. So if I can help him do that, I'm positive he's going to be bringing me more deals. Mo says, you're being so transparent with him. Protective owner who didn't want to get fucked over. Awesome job. Absolutely. I appreciate it, Mo. That's the key, is the transparency, man. A lot of people, they really try to do some sneaky, shady shit. They don't know what they're doing. They've never done a deal like this. And, you know, the key is you have to work with good people. And the way to find these great people is here in REI Rev. This is the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence, y'all. I don't say that because it sounds nice. I say that because it's true. Okay, I found somebody in here that really put me on, that helps me learn like how to actually structure these types of deals. And since then, you know, my pitch to the seller and how I've been able to help people has been game changed. The game has changed. But guys, you know, we don't sell any course here. I don't have any products. Don't even have any merch. A lot of people have been asking for merch. I'd love to get you all something to wear. Maybe like a water bottle or something with the REI Rev logo would be super cool. Maybe a hat, like Jacob is saying. But the #1 way that you can give back to this community and help somebody would be to send that link to someone you think would benefit from being in proximity with us. Guys, I don't want to be the only one to host events, but I'm definitely going to be one of the people that host events here. You will see me up on the stage. You will see me hosting the show. You will see me doing the podcast. I'd love to get more people in here that they're enthusiastic about real estate to come and lead and show people what they're up to. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I need your help. I need your help to grow the community, to get more people in here, to get more qualified individuals in this room. We need to be in touch with more people. And so if you could find it in your heart to share that link with somebody that you think would benefit from being in proximity with us, whether that's a real estate agent that's interested in learning more about becoming a better agent, whether that's an investor that may just be getting started or has done multiple deals, this is a great resource for them to tap into. Or if it's somebody that is an investor, somebody buying properties at scale, we are going to be coming out with a resource for all of these individuals, and it's going to be fantastic. What we have built here, the foundation that we have on the Discord, is absolutely revolutionary, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it and beyond blessed to be in proximity with all of you. So today was a fantastic day. I'd say that was a great call. Let me know in the side chat if you thought that was a great call by dropping some fire emojis. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the #1 most valuable real estate community in existence. We're going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode of Coffee with Closers. And until next time, know that we love y'all, and we will catch you in the next one.